Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to those who are in the Far East. This is again Benson Mason on the Constitutional Forum. Today I'm going to be looking at a trending issue, and that is the discussion of the constitutional violations by the House of Representatives. It's going to be an interesting thing, and it's going to be an interesting time. I know that there's a lot of things going on in our country. But I still remember April 6, 1996. I still remember how it came about. I still remember what went on. And with that, I would like to be playing some music for you at the point in time. Used to by me, but they say I'm useless. Used to by me, where I never have rock. Used to by me, when they say I can't lie. Used to by me, when they say my loyalty, Jumbo. I will marry you, my loyalty, Jumbo. My loyalty, Jumbo. I will marry you, my loyalty, Jumbo. Used to by me, make you lie, make you cheat. We make it to it too. And for your belly, I will put my finger to your face. I'll let you, I'll let you. I'll go back it for you. Never you see it over 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 you. Take your hand. Used to by me, but they say I'm useless. Used to by me, where I never have right. Used to by me, but they say I can lie. Used to by me, and they say my loyalty, Jumbo. I will marry you, my loyalty, Jumbo. My loyalty, Jumbo. I will marry you, my loyalty, Jumbo. Yeah, used to be. To be. Love me how you want it for the God to be. Love me how you want to go my shopping spree. I won't spoil you. You want looking at you, man. You want to like a diva. You don't know what it says. I want to get a just for you. Love me. Why you are hating me? Love that pass around me. Say, oh, you still by me. I want back to them, but I want to you, yeah. You fight for me, they plan for me, they cause you for me. You still by me, but they say I'm useless. You still by me, where I never have right. You still by me, when they say I can't lie. You still by me, when they say my loyalty, Jumbo. I will marry you, my loyalty, Jumbo. My loyalty, Jumbo. I will marry you, my loyalty, Jumbo. You still by me. Loyalty, Jumbo. Loyalty, Jumbo. Loyalty, Jumbo. You give it up to them for her. Yeah. 4 times for my Jumbo. Yeah. Automatic. You deserve my salute. Yes. Loyalty. Sometimes loyalty is good and depends on where you direct it. Sometimes it comes out very bad. And in that situation, it always presents us as the wrong thing to do. Okay? Loyalty is good to one's country. Loyalty is good to one's country. Bad habit. What you do with bad habit? Sometimes some bad habit may be seen as a good habit. Sometimes some bad habit may be misconstrued, but bad habit. That's your bad habit. What's your bad habit? My bad habit is being critical. I'm very critical. I call it a bad habit because that's what I am. I always look at the things from a very critical standpoint.
That's how you can say I enjoy it. Your best now, see how you feel. On have to go. Just love me, how you can get cold. I was spending. I need my money, I was spending. Let it look like you come out. I feel like drinking, I'm curious talking. Your money came so I said nothing stopping. I just want to go, that's my body.
One person bad habit is another person good habit. One person bad habit is another person glorious habit. Somebody will call you a bad habit and may criticize you for that. The question is, what does it do to you? When you call something a bad habit, make sure you don't indulge in it. When you negatively criticize somebody for something they do, don't be a part of it. Don't do it. You can't call me a rogue and you can't call me a thief when you are yourself indulging it. Can't spoil liquor, that's my bad habit. I must think, I must get drunk by it. Yeah.
Diva turns me on. Wow, turning on the beat. Somehow like you were about to feel. Yeah.
Yes. Again, this is Constitution Forum. This is the Constitution Forum. This is where we come to say what we got to say. This is where we do what we do. This is where we say and not feel bad about what we say. It's up to you to say what you want to say. Life is always about what you want to say, and it's good for you. Yes. What is up? What do we want to do? What do we want to say? We are here again on another day. And before, let us just start our program officially. Let us start our program. And it is quick. with hearts and hands, our country calls defending. We meet the foe with valor unpretending. Long live Liberia, happy land, a home of glorious liberty by God's command. A home of glorious liberty by God's command.
A home of glorious liberty by God's command. It's a home of glorious liberty by God's command. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, let us delve into this thing. We'll be talking about the Constitution. I'm forced to bring out this incident and this situation because I find it appalling. I find it more disgraceful or more understanding of our laws. The first thing before when we delve this thing, we will be understanding that there are two things to be looking at. We'll be looking at the Constitution. We'll be looking at the Constitution, and we'll also be looking at the Constitution, and we'll be looking at the rules of laws. There is a lot. I mean, the rules of the Senate House. We'll be setting them up, but in the meantime, on the first forum focus of it, I would like to look at the Constitution, and I would like to look at Article 2 of the Constitution, because the Constitution is the cardinal body, is the cardinal guide of us, of our country. Anything. Look at Article 2 of the Constitution. The Article 2 of the Constitution said this Constitution is a supreme fundamental law. Okay, it's a supreme and the fundamental law of the country. When you say the cardinal law, when you say the fundamental law, you are basically saying that this law cannot be tampered with. This law can be violated. This law cannot be violated. It must be kept. At every stand, it must be kept. This is a law that nobody, no one, not even the president, not even the legislature can violate this law. They say this law is the supreme, it's the highest, it's the fundamental law, which means every law is built on this law. And it's a provision, okay, it's the binding force and effect on authorities and a person. That means on the authority means the government. I'd like to dwell on Article 2.2. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to blow it up a little bit so people can see it and be able to read it a little bit more. Okay. Now, any law, treaty, statutes, decree, custom, and regulations, underscore the word regulation, state to that word regulation, found to be inconsistent. Regulation inconsistent with it shall to the extent of the inconsistency be void and of no legal effect. The Supreme Court, pursuant to its power of judicial review, is empowered to declare any inconsistent law unconstitutional. Any inconsistent law unconstitutional. Please, people, keep this law, keep this article, Article 2.2, keep it, remember it, know it, because we're going to use this article to disprove the fact of Yakas suspension. There's another thing you should keep in mind with the Constitution. This is a law, this is something that
they sent it this court. But they went on to court Article 33, 30, starting with Article 15. They went to Article 15. And you know Article 15, because Article 15 is on the rights, the fundamental rights of the people. The fundamental rights of the people in Article 15 has 5 counts. The first count talks about the freedom of expression. The freedom of expression. We have the freedom of expression. The people have the freedom of expression. People can say what they want to say, but along with it, I do agree with Honorable Farah that along with that comes a responsibility, the responsibility of abuse. If you abuse your freedom, you violate somebody else's freedom. But that is that person's responsibility to put the issue up. It's not you, it's not somebody else. It's not the legislator's responsibility to pick up it. It's the executive who can pick it up, because the executive has what you call prosecutorial power. The legislature does not have prosecutorial power in the court of law. Keep 15 in mind, as quoted by Honorable Farah. I'm going to keep all these rules. These things are they are crucial to the violation of the Constitution. Now, let's go over to Article 33. Article 33 is a unique and interesting article, and it's also quoted. But people have to keep in mind that when you quote law, when you quote the Constitution, you got to quote it in context, and you got to keep it in context. Article 33 says, Article 33 says, simple majority of each house. What is simple majority of each house? For the House of Senate, simple majority is nothing less than 16%. Anything less than 16% is not simple majority. For the House of Representatives, simple majority of the House of Representatives is 37%. It's 37%. It cannot be less than 37. Anything less than 37 is not simple majority. This is the Constitution. Simple majority of each house will constitute a forum. A quorum. So constitute a quorum, which means the people to do business that day. But what happened? For transaction of business, but lower number may adjourn. That means anything less than that, anything less than 37 will adjourn. When you adjourn, you will compel people to come. And if the number of persons that come does not reach the number to take constitutional decision, then you cannot take constitution. You have to go back. Now, remember 33. The majority of the house, the simple majority of each house, shall constitute a quorum. Anything less than 37 representatives in chamber is not a quorum. It's not a quorum to discuss. Now, when we discuss and you must take a decision, you have to meet 2/3 to take a decision. Let's go to 38. You see, I like when people play with the Constitution, because the Constitution is look, I've started reading this book. I started reading the Constitution to the point that I've fallen in love with the Constitution of Liberia. The Constitution of Liberia, I have fallen in love with it. It's so sweet. Look, I will encourage everybody, read the Constitution of Liberia. Read it. The government is getting on one of its responsibility, and that is to teach the Constitution in schools. And the government doesn't want to do that. But again, I tell you, the Constitution is sweet. Listen what it says. Each house shall adopt its own rule and procedure, enforce order, and with the concurrence of 2/3 of the entire membership, it may expel a member for cause. You see what the Constitution says? Read further. Each house shall establish its own committee and subcommittee, provided, however, that the committee on revenue and appropriation shall consist of one member of each county. All rules adopted by the legislature shall conform to the requirement of the due process of law laid down in this Constitution. People, did you see anything in that article that talk about suspension? Did you see anything in this article that talk about suspension? There is nothing in this article. So where does it come to the representative to implement a suspension? That is 100% a violation of the Constitution. There is nothing in the Constitution that talks about suspension. Nothing. If the Constitution does not say suspension, you cannot do it. If the Constitution withhold any action, that action cannot be carried out because it violates the Constitution. The young man, I heard weak Honorable Akars Gray argue to the point that in the Constitution it does not say calling order, asking for prayer. The Constitution says you can establish a procedure. Rules of procedure. Calling people to order is a rule of procedure. It's not a thing. It's a rule of procedure. You agree that you call people to order. You agree that you enforce the order as is by what you want to carry on business by. But when it comes to suspension, removal of somebody temporary or permanent from the rule, there is no temporary removal of any legislature from power. This does not only go to the House of Senate, it also goes to the House of Representatives. There is nothing in the Constitution that empowers you to make a law of suspension. Nothing. You do not have the right to make a law, to make a rule that you will be governed by that say the person can be suspended. You don't have that right. The only right you have is to make the rule to expel the person. That's the rule. That's what you got. You have the authority to do that. But this is just on the Constitution. This is on the Constitution. This is the Constitution that you so much quote. You quote the Constitution, and that's the Constitution. Let's drop down again to Article 42. Let's go to Article 42. You see, these guys are playing with our country and may cause chaos as of the process. But thank God people are sound to listen. No member of the Senate or House of Representatives shall be arrested, detained, persecuted, or tried as a result of opinion expressed or vote cast in the exercise of their function in office. Nobody shall do that. Then they say no member shall be privileged from arrest. They say members shall be privileged from arrest while attending, going to, or returning from section of the legislature, except, now you see the word except here, set a contrast. The word except come to a contrast. It's going to contrast the privilege to making you know that you have lost that privilege, so arrest can happen. Now, except for treason, you are not holding. I've not seen you hold anybody for treason within the group. You do not have the power to try somebody for treason. You do not have the power to try somebody for felony, even if the person is a senator, even if the person is a representative. The legislators cannot try the person for treason. They cannot try the person for felony. That's not in your right. So is it with breach of peace. You do not have the authority to charge a person for breach of peace that happens in the public. Why? Because it is outside your jurisdiction. It is not your right to charge somebody for breach of peace. If a man breaches the peace, it is the police to arrest him and send him to court. That's why the Constitution say. The Constitution say members shall be privileged from arrest. The legislatures cannot arrest. The House of Representatives cannot arrest. The House of Senate cannot arrest. You cannot arrest. It's outside your jurisdiction. It's outside your scope of working. So if this man breaches the peace, it is the police that should arrest him. But if the police are not educated, is arrested by the police, not you. It's not you. You have no jurisdiction in that. So if Honorable Yeke Kolba stands up on the street and calls Samuel and calls George Oponwia every day of the week, the only person can arrest him is the police. And if he does it in the chamber, he has immunity, because in the chamber he has the right to all his expression. In the chamber he has his right to all his expression. The only thing you can do is regulate it. You can say, look, I mean, you can't say this thing. You can say, look, our law, our rule says, and according to your rule, I will go to your rule. You see, no, I'm not doing this because I have nothing to do. I'm doing it because our country lacks education, and because people are not educated to seeing the facts and accepting the facts, they let people trample on their rights. It's difficult, but we have to set the record straight here. Okay, I am not in agreement with this, with the brother's attitude. I am in agreement. I will not applaud him for standing up and causing the president. I will not give him merit for insulting the president. But at the same time, I will not give you merit for trampling on his rights. I will not give him merit for you bringing disrepute to the group. I will not do it. I won't. We said when we're coming up, our parents are also the two wrongs don't correct. Not because he insulting the president means you will be later yourself, and that's what you've done. And we are watching closely. We are looking closely. We will talk about it because it is not right. It is not right. Now, let me in the meanwhile, while I talked about a lot of these things, let's look at something else that is basically giving us a lot of problem. Every day, people go on and they talk about the people talk about their rules. Every day they talk about the rules. Every day they talk about the rules, the house guard rules, the house guard rules. Let us look at the rules of the house. Let us look at the rules of the house. You know, it's pathetic when we come to discussing the rules and where is it? Where is it? You know, it baffles me when people go into these things and they start to turn around and look around and they can't see what they're looking for. But I got a tab and I'm trying to figure it out where it is at. But it is a difficult thing. Okay. I think, give me a minute, people. I know that I'm I want to put, you see, I like to display because I want you to join me in reading about it so that you can know that is there. I'm not trying to mislead you. I'm trying to put things up and let it come up so that we all can see what it is like. Okay, I want us to see what it is like when it's there. I'm not trying to add things or make my way easy. Okay, I'm not trying to make my way easy. I'm trying to make us all enjoy it so that we can. Let me see. I have to find this. Please bear with me a little bit. But in their own rules, in their own laws, okay, in their own laws, and that's the violation that I'm going to talk about. Currently, they had a vote, and when they had a vote, The vote tells that you should have 2/3 present, 2/3 vote, but they did not have 2/3 vote. They did not have 2/3 vote. In the meantime, let me play. Let me play In the meantime, let me play Honorable Fala. Honorable Fala complaint.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, co-presiding, distinguished colleagues, let me seize this opportunity to say thanks to our colleagues for seeing reason in this communication to be open for discussion so that we all can have an input and find a solution to this allegation raised by me. Mr. Speaker, to begin with, distinguished colleagues, as one of the elders of this Honorable House of Representatives, by virtue of the fact that this is my 40 years to 50 years being members of this House of Representatives, understanding the workings of this House of Representatives, I'd like to begin by stating this disclaimer because I know someone may say it's political witch hunt or we try to get at our colleagues for no reason. Being one of the elders of this place, Mr. Speaker, and an administrator, I realize that we all came from different political backgrounds. Our training are different. I've had several communication, conversations, dialogue with my colleague, a friend, Honorable Yakewa Kolba, on the manner in which, as an honorable colleague, we must at all times conduct ourselves. We have had it in our private conversation. Sometimes we laugh and joke. And all of those interactions, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my colleague refused to adhere to our pieces of advice. And every now and then, our colleague continued to go the way he normally go. And as the head of this place, one of the elders, I think it is time that we call our colleague to order. It's not anything personal, but to really understand that this place is an embodiment of the 4.5 to 5 million people. Distinguished colleagues, the citizens in our country elected 103 of us in the legislature. 73 of us in the House of Representatives to represent our people. With that said, Mr. President, representing our people comes with responsibility. One of those responsibilities is you must at all times have a positive moral standing, meaning your utterances, the way you dress, to some extent, the way you talk, the way you speak in the public glare, because you are one of those that are representing the 4.5, so to speak, people. And your attributes, your attitude represent this honorable House of Representatives. Even in your private life, as you move, you should know that you represent them because it has an average effect or impact on this honorable House of Representatives. Distinguished colleagues, the framer of the Constitution, the Gold Forum, Article 30 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, you read, in the framer of the Constitution, it said, you must attain the age 25 or above, 30 and above for the Senate. In the wisdom of the framer of the Constitution, the records at the time, believing that at the age of 25, when you are given an opportunity to serve your constituents, your reasoning will be that mature to some extent the way you conduct yourself as someone that represents your people. So they said 25 and they did not say 18. So at the age 25, as a representative, you must be here. It's expected that you must conduct yourself properly at all times, even in your political disagreements. I say this to say that, presiding, some of us serve here, we have the moral standing. That's why I prefer this communication. All of the years we spent in this place, Mr. Presiding, politically as an opposition, you have your right to disagree on policy issues. You deal with issues that are affecting your constituents or your people. Speak to the point and speak to the core and impacting or affecting our people. But to the extent that you always use invectives, insults, in public gathering against the presidency and any citizen for that matter, this is not only restricted to the presidency, but any citizen of that matter.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. My system kind of like must have had a glitch in it. And I don't know who's messing with my system. But I will go back and yeah, there is a problem. I don't know what's going on, but I'll go back and see what's going on with my system. Let's listen to the Honorable Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, co-presiding, distinguished colleagues, let me seize this opportunity to say thanks to our colleagues for seeing reason in this communication to be open for discussion so that we all can have an input and find a solution to this allegation raised by me. Mr. Speaker, to begin with, distinguished colleagues, as one of the elders of this Honorable House of Representatives, by virtue of the fact that this is my 40 years to 50 years being members of this House of Representatives, understanding the workings of this House of Representatives, I'd like to begin by stating this disclaimer, because I know someone may say it's political witch hunt, or we try to get at our colleagues for no reason. Being one of the elders of this place, Mr. Speaker, and an administrator, I realized that we all came from different political backgrounds. Our training are different. I've had several communication, conversations, dialogue with my colleague, a friend, Yakewa Kolba, on the manner in which, as an honorable colleague, we must at all times conduct ourselves. We have had it in our private conversation. Sometimes we laugh and joke. And all of those interactions, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my colleague refused to adhere to our pieces of advice. And every now and then, our colleague continued to go the way he normally go. And as the elder of this place, one of the elders, I think it is time that we call our colleague to order. It's not anything personal, but to make you understand that this place is an embodiment of the 4.5 to 5 million people. Distinguished colleagues, the citizens in our country elected 103 of us in the legislature. 73 of us in the House of Representatives to represent our people. With that said, Mr. Pisani, representing our people comes with responsibility. One of those responsibilities is you must at all times have a positive moral standing, meaning your utterances, the way you dress, to some extent, the way you talk, the way you speak in the public glare, because you are one of those that representing the full profile, so to speak, people. And your attributes, your attitude represent this honorable House of Representatives. Even in your private life, as you move, you should know that you represent them because it has an average effect or impact on this honorable House of Representatives. Distinguished colleagues, the framer of the Constitution, the Forum, Article 30 of the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, you read, in the framer of the Constitution, it said, you must attain the age 25 or above, 30 and above for the Senate. In the wisdom of the framer of the Constitution, the writers at the time, believing that at the age of 25, when you are given an opportunity to serve your constituents, your reasoning will be that mature to some extent, the way you conduct yourself as someone that represents your people. So they said 25 and they did not say 18. So at the age 25, as a representative, you must be here. It's expected that you must conduct yourself properly at all times, even in your political disagreements. I say this to say that, presiding, some of us serve here, we have the moral standing. That's why I proffer this communication. All of the years we spent in this place, Mr. Presiding, politically as an opposition, you have your right to disagree on policy issues. You deal with issues that are affecting your constituents or your people. Speak to the point and speak to the core and impacting or affecting our people. But to the extent that you always use invectives, insults, in public gathering against the presidency and any citizen for that matter, this is not only restricted to the presidency, but any citizen of that matter.
Yes, people.
Always use invectives, insults in public gathering against the presidency and any citizen for that matter. This is not only restricted to the presidency, but any citizen of that matter, acting is out of order. More beside Mr. President,
yes, people, you see, and this is the problem. This is our major contending problem. The bill or the whole act of this thing is against the president. I disagree with Yaka Kolwa in insulting the president or in describing the president the way he described the president. He called the president corrupt. Well, the president needs to defend that. Why should the legislature take it that? And he does it either in section or outside. Now, if he does it in section, he has the right to his opinion. If he does it outside in the public and you call it breach of peace, then the police has the right to arrest him. There is no way around this for you to say that you are bringing the axe down on him. Except you're saying that what he's saying, he called the president dog. Was it in section he called the president a dog? No. Was it outside he called the president a dog? Yes. Let the police arrest him if he is a breach of peace. Let them arrest him and take him to court. Yaka Kolwa has been to court recently for handling arms in his car. The court exonerated him. So if you got a situation in which you find this man is guilty of something, let the law take its course. Let not the legislature, let not the representative, the House of Representatives, violate their own laws. Let not them violate their own laws. Look, it is very disheartening to find that we are agreeing with people for making statements that are that is appalling. You know, these are things that we need to move from. These are things that we need to move from. Okay, this is the House of Representatives standing rule. This is the House of Representatives standing rule as they quoted. Let us look at each one of the rules they quoted. Let us take each one and go down gradually through them. Look, let us start with the first rule they quoted. Rule 9.2, 1 and 2. Let each one and let us go down through them and let us see where in these rules that the president that Yeke violated. Let us take what they say Yeke or violated. On a motion made, and the second to close the door of the Senate for the purpose of discussing business. That's rule 9. This is rule 9. Session to close door. Rule 9. Any Senate or officer of the Senate who shall disclose the secret of the court of the working here. But you know, good thing I can play around. Okay. Now, there's two rules I got here. Let's let us understand which one we really playing in. Okay. I want to go straight to the top of this one, just for fast verification that we are dealing with the rules of the House of Representatives. Okay, good. This is the one that say the 52nd legislature rules and procedure of the House. Okay. Which one is this then? I need to find out which one is this. Give me a minute. I want to see. The Liberian legislature. Oh, this is, I'm sorry. I put this. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was my mistake. This is the House of Representatives. The other one we're looking at was the House of Senate. Yeah, I know somebody is saying this guy to sit down and research things and just get them there. Yeah. Because people say things that I'm not satisfied with. I want to verify it. I want to be able to say what I want to have an opinion. If I have an opinion, I must research and know. It's better to know than not to know. I'm always in a position of wanting to know. When people quote and say certain things, I go there, go look for it, read it before I have my opinion and before I express it. That's why I don't rush into discussing things. I don't rush. I take my time to research and to know. If I don't, I will be the fool when I come out to talk and misrepresent myself. Now, this is what it says. This is what it says. Removal and expulsion of members. I don't see any removal. I don't see any suspension. Removal and expulsion. Removal or expulsion. Now, the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and other officer of the House may be removed. Understand here? You see here? May be removed from office for cause by a resolution of 2/3 majority of the members of the House. Now, that talk about removed. Come down to 9.2. A member may be expelled from the House for the cause
by a resolution of a 2/3 majority of the member of the House. So 9.1 and 9.2 are talking about removing from office, which means these officials, speaker, deputy speaker, and other members can be removed from that office, but not from the House. They can be removed from the office. He can be removed as speaker, he can be removed as deputy speaker, and other officials can be removed. You can even be removed as a chairman of a committee by a 2/3 majority. Now, 9.2 is specific, and 9.2 agrees. 9.2 agrees with the Constitution in Article 33. It agrees with the Constitution that says a member of the House can be expelled for a cause by a resolution of 2/3. Can be expelled by a resolution of 2/3. So your Constitution, your law has this law has nothing to do with your suspension. So we take it off, we roll it up, and we throw it away. You ain't got nothing to talk about suspension over there. There is nothing there that says suspension. It is in agreement with the Constitution. Now, let's go to 12.1. 12.1 is another one that you quoted. 12.1 says a quorum shall consist of a simple majority. Again, they agree with the Constitution. What is simple majority? Simple majority of the members of the Honorable House of Representatives. Simple majority of 73 is 37. Simple majority of 33 is 37. A simple means if it's 72, it would be 36. 36 is a break-even point. If you got 36, you are not in the simple majority group. If you got 36, you are less than the simple majority group. So you got to get 37 to form a quorum. So if you don't have 32, according to the Constitution, you can have a motion to mandate the absent portion to come to me, to show up to section. You have it. You see, even your rules say the quorum shall be necessary for the transaction of business. So if you don't have quorum, you are not necessary for the action of business to transact business. Now, however, a minority may meet from day to day. A minority may meet from day to day. So yeah, they gave you the chance that well, you reach the number, but you can be there, discuss and transact. Discuss to do. But when it comes to decision, they say that meeting at which a quorum is not present, only a motion to compel the attendance. Now, when a quorum is not present, you have to meet you can have a motion to compel the others to come. Now, don't get this wrong. But you cannot transact constitutional meeting because what? The Constitution demands that you must have a 2/3 member to transact constitutional business. You must have 2/3 membership to transact constitutional business. Now, don't get it wrong. This is your quorum. Your quorum actually to have 37. And from my calculation, you did not have 37. You had 31 person present. 31 is not 37, so you did not have a quorum. So you should have adjourned with a motion to demand and command and enforce it that all members of the House must be present in the next session. So you did not have a quorum. And because you did not have a quorum, accordingly, you had 24 persons voting for the suspension, which is a violation of the Constitution. You have 24 persons voting for, but you also have 7 persons voting against. Now, if we take it into consideration, you basically have 1/3 voting against, or you want to consider it 31. You had less than 10. You had less than the 1/3 voting, but at the same time, you did not have the quorum. You did not have the quorum, and you did not have the 2/3 vote of the entire membership of the House to pass on this thing. So you are violating your own laws. You are breaking your own laws just to please the president. What bogus attitude is this? What attitude of insensitivity is this? Why are you acting so crazy? Why? Why are you doing that? Why? We need you to be there to uphold the law, to uphold the practice. And then you say that you are a law-abiding house. Yeah, you are a law well creating law, but you are the same house that violating and breaking the laws. When you violate the law, it does not do anything to us. It just spoils us. It destroys our fabric. It destroys us. Okay, it destroys us. And according to Thomas Fala, he said his point is on the breach of peace. I will discuss that breach of peace. Look, I'm discussing this thing on every floor, on every pattern. We will go to the law and we will see what the law says about breach of peace. Oh yeah, I got the law. I got the penal code. I will put the penal code on and we'll look at it. Look, I'm not. I keep telling people I'm not a fanatic. I'm just a realist. I love to know that. Next rule, they call Rule 42, 40.2. Rule 42, that's the next rule. We'll be there, we'll go to 40.2, we'll go to 40.1, and then we'll look at the Rule 48. Rule 40.2 is one of the rules of court. But what is 40.2 all about? What is it saying to us as we look at the 40.2? Look at 40.2. 40.1 says, I'll use the using power properly. Using power, honesty and transparency. 40 is honesty and transparency. Without prejudice. Without prejudice to the provision of this law, of this rule, every member shall be honest and transparent at any time. Yes, every man shall be honest and transparent at all times. No member may introduce false information or unsubstantiated matter pretending that it is true. Did Yaka violate this? Did Yaka violate this rule? Did he violate this rule? He called the president a rogue. In his quest or in his defense, he asked where the president got the money to pay his 48 condominium in 2-3 months after he became president. He asked where did the president get the money to break down, to demolish his house on 9th Street and build a fabulous or multi-purpose building there. Where did the president get his money for? These are questions he asked. The president was in the country from 2005 to 2017. He did not put a pin on his single 9th Street residence. He did not put a pin on it. He did not build a coffee shop. He did not build a coffee shop. As soon as he became president, so Yaka is asking, where is it? If you guys have a problem with that, display the president assets when he became president. Publish it. Let's see it so we can know that where he got the money from. They may call him a rogue. What you worried about for? Why is it that we stop thinking and then Farah says, Farah, let me tell you something. The person who used your hand to take the fire from the pot, to take the burning coal from in the coal pot, that person is not the one that is stupid. That you let the man use your hand. The man got hand, you get hand. What are you fighting for a battle for? Why are you fighting his battle? Let's go down. You also quote 42. You quote 42. You quote 42, 1 and 2. Let's look at 42. Every member. Let me see if I can blow this. I'm sure I can blow it up. I think I can blow it up. 42 says, no, you're not giving me a chance to blow up, people. So sorry. You just got to read it. 42 says, 42.1, every member shall, at any place keep the prestige and dignity of the house and refrain from undesirable act. Now, undesirable by whose standard? You have to be able to qualify this undesirable. You have to qualify it. If you don't qualify it, it becomes a discretionary thing to anybody. What is an undesirable act? If I see, for example, Darren Zero drink beer also, he got a beer bottle in your house. It's an undesirable act to me. It is an undesirable act to another member of the house. Do they suspend him? Do they expel him? You got people who doing things like, for example, Solo drink a beer, he drink a gin. Also, does that mean that a representative Solo is a desirable act for him, but it's an undesirable act for me? I see that he's honorable man in the house, he shouldn't do it. Does that mean it's what? Okay, these are things that you have to qualify. Don't just say undesirable act. Undesirable act by whose standard? Who defines what the undesirable act is? Make a list of undesirable acts and put it there so people can be held to definite things. Next thing you say, no member shall insult, abuse, or harass other person within the confines of the house and cause disturbance to the activity of the house. No member should do that. Within. So if I cause the president, he's not in the house, he's not in the confines of the house, I'm causing somewhere else. He's the one I'm causing. He's in the mansion, I'm in the house. I'm talking about him. If he calls the man a dog in the house, he's not there. You say no man. According to he said, no member shall abuse other person within. You say other person without. So what rule? How did he break that rule? How did he break that rule? How did he break the rule? The rule is not being broken. The rule is being broken. So how can you say he's violating the rule? You got to roll your rule, and you got to keep your rule in line. You got to be able to state the rule. Now, you also quoted 44. Now, I don't know why you quoted 44.1. 44.1 says members are expected to fight corruption effectively by being free from corrupt practices and opposing corruption and set example in any anti-corruption struggle. So the man is fighting corruption by saying the president is corrupt and asking you to ask the president where he got the money from to build 48 condominium 3 months after he became president. When $16 billion is missing and nobody can account for $16 billion, the president is building. The president is also reconstructing his house on 9 Street 3 months after he came out. When $16 billion is still in question. But nobody is talking about that. But Yetta is talking about it and he calling the president corrupt. You're not questioning the president on that. But you are simply saying that, hey, the president is guilty. The president is not guilty. People, let's be sincere. Let's be sincere. Let us be sincere. Okay? Let us be sincere. Let us be sincere. We need to stop. We need to move our minds into the area where we can get the best for our country out. We need to do that. We need to put in our mind the places that we need to get. We need to move up. We need to be more proactive. We just need to stop. Okay, we need to be more proactive. We need to be more willing and ready to express ourselves genuinely on the issue. Let us move sentiment and emotion from this thing. It is the problem that we have in our country that is still kicking us where we need not to be picked, because we often want to enjoy the benefit of others. We want to enjoy the benefit of the president. We want to enjoy the benefit of the president, so we do that. But being honest, you need to be more than that. We need to be more than that. It's just a crazy thing. People think it's strange, but look, you have to be able to be earnest. Liberia comes above any other person. It's not because of where Liberia is, but it's because what we want. We want our country. We want our country, and we want our country to be straight. We want our country to be above other reproach. But that way, we're not gonna sit down and endorse one person doing something and think that we are doing right. No. Our representative violated the Constitution, and they violated their own rules in bringing down Yeke. Yeke has used you guys. Yeke has made you guys to become a laughing stock because you're violating your own rules. Read your rules, know your rules. And secondly, people, stop being a follower. You are leaders. Stand up and think for yourself. Think for yourself. I'm not saying that Yeke or invectives I'm applauding it. No. But he is protected. Chamber, he is protected. Outside, he is not under your rules. When he outside, he's not under your rules. If they're not welcoming, his investors are not welcoming. But when it's outside, let the rule of law take its course. Outside, let the rule of law take its course. If you decide to chastise the man because he's outside and he's saying what he says, when the rule of law is there, then you are not doing him, you're not doing any good. You are not doing any good. When you do that, you are not doing any good. You are basically allowing sentiments to take over. You are allowing sentiments to take over. And when sentiments take over, you are going to be the one that is going to be the laughing stock in the final end of the day. You are going to be the laughing stock. Okay? You'll be the laughing stock when that happens. You have to be able to stand up and know what it is that you are fighting for. You have to stand up to know what it is you are fighting for. You can't be fighting for things that are not there to fight for. You cannot be fighting for things that are not there to fight for. What are you fighting for? What is your contention? What is your contention here? Huh? What is your contention? You have to be able to stand firm. You have to be able to stand on pride. Your pride is all you got. Your pride is all you got. You can't look. It is so discouraging to see leaders or people who call themselves leaders not thinking for themselves, not looking at the rules to say, okay, listen, gentlemen, I agree, but let's look at the rule. You first thing, not only that you violated your rule, but you even violated the procedure within your rule. According to your rule and the procedure in your rule, they're supposed to have gone to the Committee on Ethics. And the Committee on Ethics is the one who's supposed to come. The Committee on Ethics is the one who's supposed to come to you with a recommendation after they have gone through it. That's your rule. That's what your rule says. But in a forced and hasty manner, in a manner in which you are rushing to quickly put this man on, put this man to shame. You violated all your rules just to quickly put this man to shame. How can you do that? How can you do such a thing and feel that you are doing justice to this country? How do you do such a thing and feel you are doing justice? People, stop thinking, stop and think for yourself a little bit. Stop and think. Okay, stop and think. Why is it you must do such a thing and feel terrible about it, and you don't feel terrible about it? Look, I will say this to you, and I will say it to you with loving hearts. You violated the Constitution. You did not do what should have been done. You did not right the wrong. The Penal Code of the Liberia. You talk about breach of peace. You talk about breach of peace in a pending, not in something that has happened, in a pending situation. So you're saying that this could happen if this continue. I agree with you. Could happen. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Okay. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. What is breach of peace? What is breach of peace? Let us first analyze what is breach of peace. You preempting what coulda, what shoulda, woulda. Did you ever step to analyze what breach of peace is? And if you analyze and if you define breach of peace, and you go into the penal code, then you go to the penal code to see what it is. You see, it's difficult when we allow ourselves to be used. I'll continue to say it. We allow ourselves to be used, we lost our credibility, and people start to look at us as a joker. And then we say that somebody calls me a joker. Yes, because we put ourselves as leader in a position to be called a joker. Is it only George we are as president that is the leader in this country? Is it only George we are the leader in this country? No. There's a lot of leaders in this country. Even you guys are leaders. But if you put yourself in a position where you are jokers, we will call you jokers. You will be called jokers. Okay? If you put yourself in a position, it's not a matter of who wants to. It's not a matter of who wants to. It's not a matter of what. I decided, let's look at for a minute, let's take a look at let me use this. I'll go to the Constitution there. It's a difficult thing, but let's look at it. Let's go and look at the penal code. Let's look at the penal code. Let's look at the Liberian Penal Code on this statute. And this is the penal code. And what's up there? Out to stream. Okay, this is a penal code. Let's look at it and let's see what it says. Okay, it says. This is the penal code of Liberia. This is part of the laws of Liberia. 17.3. You see 17.3? Disorderly conduct. Now, read what it says. Offense. A person is guilty of disorderly conduct if, with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or recklessly creating a risk thereof, he engages in fighting, he didn't fight, threatening, he didn't threaten, or in violent or tumult behavior, no, make unreasonable noise or offense cause utterance. Now this is where you got gesture or display or address abusive language to any person present, or create hazardous or physically offensive condition by act which serves no legitimate purpose of the actor. So you see, this is the act. The only thing you will be talking about is the cause utterance. But the cause utterance, the gesture, display, and address of abusive language must be to the person who's present. The person not there, the man is using his word in the absence of those we are present. So, if you want to, the police will arrest him and carry him to go into, because he is not in the violation of disorderly conduct. He's not exempted for being arrested. He's not. He's not arrested or being. He's not immune. He doesn't have immunity to be arrested for disorderly conduct. No. Okay. Disorderly conduct and breach of peace, and likely come breach of peace come under disorderly conduct, but he can be arrested. An offense under this section is a second-degree misdemeanor if the actual purpose is to cause substantial harm or serious inconvenience, or if he persists in disorderly conduct after he has been reasonably warned or requested to desist. Other disorderly conduct is an infraction. So you see, people, we have to know the law. That's the law. That is the law. So if he breaks the law while he is in the street, even if he's coming from base, even if he's coming from session or he going to session, if he breaks the law, if he commits disorderly conduct, he can be arrested. That's the Constitution. He can be arrested. And when he arrested, he's not arrested within the confines of his legislative district. Or function. It's different. When we want to be advocates, when we want to speak the truth, let us speak the truth. Let us speak the truth. It is easier for our country to be a constitutional governed country than for our country to be a secret government country. For example, so I know if the congressman was arrested because he called the government a kleptocratic government, you arrest him. You arrest him. Why? Because he called you a kleptocratic government. The Speaker of the House called Trump an idiot. Nobody called George an idiot. If George an idiot, you will arrest him too. You will be arresting people for the opinions, for the tone. And you want the man to validate what he said? Yeah, I agree. I didn't validate it. The man is asking you. The president became president 3 months later. He started bailing for the condominium. Where the money came from? He demolished his house on 9th Street. He started to bail it. Where the money came from? The man actually did the main question. You cannot tell him where the money came from. The president cannot validate where the money came from. Then the man called the president corrupt. You call him a rogue. If you steal, you are rogue. If you steal, you are rogue. If you lie, you are liar. If you run around, like Molu say, a man sleeping with all the female minister before he get a job, then he dog. They're not bad thing there. They're not so do. Then he's dog. He's the dog. That's what the boss says. You sleeping around. That him who says so? No. The Molu describe John behind the door. The John Molu say the man sleeping with all the female before he employed it. You're a dog. You're a dog. Even your wife, when you go and sleep outside with somebody and your wife that you should call you a dog. Dala. So why is it we are trying to make situation difficult? Why? Why we are trying to make the situation difficult? Huh? No. When you come to freedom of speech means you can say what you want to say, but you are held responsible for it. He too rule for the children. My sister, I will not argue that one. But let's ask a simple question. The thing they men talking, the men, okay, The man called him a dog. That lie. And the man, when the Mason, he started calling everybody that man. He Mason. The Mason, he called everybody that man. I agree. Look, when the man said, the man called the man during the war, all of you guys during the war, tell me that door that's on the course there, that door that's on the course, your way, man, it can be real. If you call the man a door, it's simply because Molu said the man sleeps with all the female before he gave them position. If Molu said it, if Molu said the man sleep with everybody, you say who talking there? If your boyfriend or your husband was sleeping with somebody around, you will call him a dog. Let us be real. Let us be real. Let us be real. Look, people, let us stop it. These people, look, you in position, and they're asking to speak, and he said, I have nothing to say right now. There's a rule of law that says you can remain silent. You don't have you have the right to remain silent. And the man chose the right to remain silent. Now, you want to convict him, and he must have the due process of law, the due process of justice. What is it? You have to call him in, you have to do the investigation and present your facts. And when you present your fact, then the man will defend the fact that you're presenting. What is the fact that you present? He didn't present no fact. He said the man called the president dog. They're not cause. Molu said the president slept with all the women there before he gained a position. They're not dog behavior. All the women on this, all the women who will watch this, or all the women who watch it, is that not dog behavior? Don't you call your husband dog and he sleeps around? Don't you? So what you want to do about it? Oh, say no, the man called the president go. The president became president 3 months after he started bidding for the 8 communion or condominium. The man said, where the money come from? He paid the husband on that, he paid it up. Where the money come from? He was there from 2005 straight to 2017. The man was walking around here like, bro, he became senator and all. He put pin on his Nashville horse. But soon he became president 3 months. Then the man said the man that rode because the man corrupt. He said the man corrupt. You have to know, let's show the king. These are simple things, people. It's not a matter of war. It's just a matter of expression. If you call the man a role, he asking for things. He's saying the man is corrupt, and you say no. You see, you want him to call the man an embezzler. You tell the man embezzle. People, our country, we have to be more proactive. We have to be more documented. If you want to set the case, I have no problem with the case you're setting. My problem that is with the manner in which you are setting the case. Embezzle is stealing. Or mismanagement that's stealing. Misapplication that's stealing. That's stealing. Don't just call a role because you didn't invite him, but when you elected, that when you made role, then you still got problem. Huh? Yes, man, I read the report. Which report you talking about? Which report you talking about? You can't just say which report. They got plenty of the Kum report charge the job government for receiving and managing 43% of that $16 billion. So what were you talking about? Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about $25 million that were infused into the account, into the economy? That only 17 million is accounted for, 8 million, nobody know what happened to it. Which report are you talking about? Which report are you talking about? Or are you talking about the stimulus package? Which report? You gotta be specific when you want to ask for a report. Which report? Give us the answer of the report you want to talk about. My point, my drive here is to tell us that the legislature, the House of Representatives, need to stop bringing discreditation to them. Do you know that the president is supposed to make a report of financial for of income and expenditure to the legislature, and he is also supposed to publish it for the public? No. So all the report you want to talk about, let's talk about report. Tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow, and I'll be discussing I'll be discussing discussing the printing of new money. I'll be discussing that as I look at Article 7. Because Article 7 talks about the economy and our natural resources as the government manages. So we will be talking about that. We'll look into that again. Look, people, I am only here for us to understand that we have rules, and those rules must correlate and be in line with the Constitution. You have a rule that violates the Constitution and say that it must hold. It can't hold. The House of Legislature have no rule. There is no rule in the House of Legislature that talk about suspension. And for what? Therefore, what? There is no rule that talk about for what? The rule says for just means for cause, your person can be expelled in agreement with the Constitution. The Constitution says for a reason of cause, a member of the House of Representatives and the House of Senate may be expelled by 2/3 majority vote. That's what the rule says. That's what the Constitution says. The Constitution does not make a provision for suspension. So if the Constitution did not give you the right to suspend a fellow member, how did you come up with that right? The Constitution also says any rule that is inconsistent with the Constitution, that rule is not void and non-constitutional. And I says so, that's the Constitution. That is the Constitution. You see, you need to go back. That's the Crow report you're talking about, girl. That's the Crow report. Go back and read the Crow report. Go back and read the Crow report for yourself, okay? I think you're only taking asset of people who giving you to do that Crow report you're talking about. I don't think is it the presidential report? Is it a presidential report you're talking about? Both the presidential and the Crow report is asking the same question. That's a Crow report you want on. Go back. Go read the Crow report. The Crow report will tell you that the Crow report has said 43% of that 16 billion was with this government, was in the charge of this government. Go back. So what did they do with the 43 billion? With the 43%? That's over $7 billion. That's over $7 billion. Why the government is claiming that they did not see money, but the Crow report that they got over $7 billion. So what are they doing with that? Look, my people, the idea is, the thing is, I'm not here on the president, I'm on the Senate. And with the president, that's a different situation. If the president had decided to sue this man, or if the police arrested or Koluba and taking Koluba to court, I will have no problem with that, because the police is charging him with breach of peace. That's the police. That's the police responsibility. I will have no problem with that. But the House of Representatives have no jurisdiction over the man's life when he's outside there. He does not abide under their rule. He does not abide under their rule. Yeah, he may at all times, but at all times, if he does not do it, the only thing is you want to know how he brings this report to you. He's not representing you out there. He has his own statement. And if he violates the rule when he's out there, if he violates the law when he's out there, the law takes. You see, breach of peace. Breach of peace is not it. It is. Are you going to suspend him? Are you going to send him to court? Are you going to persecute him? If you're not persecuting him, why are you suspending him? If you are not persecuting him, how are you suspending him? You must, when you violate the rule in-house, that's your house rule. When you violate the law, and breach of peace is a law. Disorderly conduct is a law. There is no disorderly conduct in your rule. I've read your rule back and forth. I've read your rule over and over. There is no disorderly conduct in your rule. Your rule is specific. Your rule is even too general. Your rule is even too general. Because you talk about undesirable act. What is undesirable act? What do you define as undesirable act? For me, it could be different than for you. It could be different for you. Oh, there is a representative who impregnated an underage girl. You did not do anything about that. That was not undesirable. That is an act that is undesirable. You didn't do anything about it. So, what is your undesirable act? What is your definition of undesirable act? So, it depends on who you are that becomes an undesirable act. So, you see, you can't be, you say that as well be transparent, and you should also be, and your rules are to be measured out evenly. But it's not evenly, my people. The rule is not evenly. It's not evenly. I don't know. I don't want you. I would not say no. If you will have to take a decision, the Constitution says you can expel. The Constitution didn't give you no reason to suspend. The Constitution gave you no power to suspend. The Constitution gave you a reason to expel. If the Constitution had given you a reason to suspend, then the Constitution will extend that to the president. Then it won't be impeachment. It will be suspension of the president for act done. You will suspend him for you expel him. No. The Constitution gave you only one power, and that's to expel. No suspension. And leave it open to you. Yeah. We'll write your letter of warning. We'll write your letter of warning, a verbal warning, followed by 2 letters of warning, and then we'll expel you for if the act is repetitious. Fine. That will be fine. So long you are not expelled, you're suspending. The Constitution did not give you the power to suspend. And there you open the Constitution and find it. There is no way you got that power to expel. You see, you have brought yourself to public disrepute. You have brought yourself to public disrepute to find out that you are not just. You call yourself adults, but you're not just. You are not elders of our country, but you are not just. You know, one thing I like about elders will tell you it just as it is. Elders are like children. They chunk it all, they don't care because they know they're on a tough thing. They chunk it all and leave it. Okay? So it's because you have brought your rules out. We are now pressured to go into your rule and read your rule and study your rule and compare your rule to Constitution. You are in violation of the Constitution. Article 33, Article 4, and Article 2. You are in violation of the Constitution. You are in violation of the Constitution. And there will be nothing else to say about that other than you go back at your Constitution and go back and clean it up. Cleaning up the Constitution. The Constitution says that members shall be privileged from rest while attending, going to, or returning from section, except for treason, felony, and breach of peace. If you commit a breach of peace, according to Thomas Fala, then he needs been arrested by the police and sent to court. Article 33 says you have a simple majority, and that simple majority is the one, and that simple majority must be at least 37%. At least 37% to transact business. So if you're acting business with less than 37%, sorry, Baba, you are in violation of the Constitution. Article 38. Article 38 says that each member of the House shall adopt the procedure, and what it says there is that each House shall establish a committee. No, each House shall adopt its own rules and procedure, enforce order, and with the concur of 2/3 of the entire membership may expel. There is nothing that I say may suspend. 2/3 of the entire membership of that house may expel. May expel. Your rule that you're quoting, your own rules
say no member shall threaten, abuse, or harass. You sit down there and you hear people telling you, okay, I will kick you out of the house. That's threatening. What happened with your rule? I forgot your rule of C. So you see who says it, and it does not make a difference. Your rules must be obeyed. When you decide that you are doing what you must do to be right, then you must obey your own rules and follow the law. Again, let me close by saying this. You can go to the Supreme Court. You can have the Chief Justice rescind your rules or your decision, or you can do the best thing so as not to be shown as a child. Look at your own rules, rescind your own decision, and move forward. You have the right, and you can do that. You have the right to do that. There is no reason you are to sit there, somebody else make it for you. Recognize your fault. Recognize your shortcoming. Recognize recognize your error, because you are human. You can be wrong. You are human. You can be wrong. Don't ever think that you are superhuman and you cannot be wrong. You are human. You don't agree that you are wrong and move forward. Change your decision, rescind your decision, and let life go on. Rescind your decision and then look. This is not about who wins. It's not a winning competition that you guys are on. This is Liberia. It's not a winning competition. So I don't think it doesn't matter to me who think they're victorious. But you have violated your rules, you have violated the Constitution. You can do the best man to do is to stand up and face it. If this is something that you are convinced and convicted that he committed a breach of peace, then he order the police. Let the police arrest him and let the police persecute him. Okay? Let the police arrest him and let the police persecute him. But you need to stop making these simple mistakes. These simple mistakes, you need to stop making them. They do not show up well for us. They do not represent our well. These little mistakes is a disgrace to us as a people, and we need to get out of it and stop making it. We need to get out of it and stop making it. It does not show well for us. It does show well for us. We are people. We are people, and we need to know where we stand and what we stand for. In that, and with that being said, I want to thank all of those who was following and watching. I also want to take my time to thank those who were watching after it's posted. Thanks for being a part of this show today, Constitution Forum. I'm your presenter and your host, Benson Mason. And I want to say thank you and have a blessed day. Sleep well, eat well, do good things. Do good things. My sister, I'm not versed with George Weah being president. George Weah being president does not hurt me at all. It has no pain in my nature. I'm not talking about George Weah. You see, you guys make everything about George Weah. Everything you make it about George Weah. That's why Dieke Kolba can stand up and cause when he want to mayor and all he calls George Weah. Because everything you're putting on George Weah, it has nothing to do with President Weah. President Weah is the president of Liberia, whether I like it or not. I respect him as the president, but I will speak truth to power any day. I don't care whether you like it or you don't like it. I am only showing you how the House of Representatives is bringing disrepute to its August body. I am showing you where they went wrong. I am showing you how they went wrong. It has nothing to do personally with the president. The president is the president. Why should I go and he's the president? So long he does what is right. If he does what is wrong, I will speak of it. If he violates something, I will say it. If he does what is right, I will say it. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I eat every day, and every day, my family back in Liberia, they do have what they need. But are we educated enough to say the truth, despite our love and loyalty for the president? Do you love the president to the fact that you can tell him, Mr. President, this is wrong? Do you love him to the fact that you are able to stand up and tell him, Mr. President, this that you said is wrong? Can you do that? I bet you can, because you see nothing wrong. I love the legislatures. I love the representatives. I love the but I would say when they go wrong. I hate the other Korba way of speaking. I don't like it. But that's his right. He has a freedom to speak. If his freedom causes stress and harm and danger to anybody, let that person take his case to the court. Let that person make his case with the court. If he violates, let me ask you a simple question. Why you will be tumbling it in your mind? Why you will be thinking about it in your mind? Answer our question. Can the House of Representatives argue? Can the House of Representatives argue on treason? Can it persecute anybody for treason? Can it persecute anybody for stealing, which is a felony? Can it persecute anybody for that? No. The House of Legislature cannot do it. Those people must go to the court of law. The Constitution says that no member of the House, whether representative or Senate, is privileged from arrest if that person commits treason, felony, or if that person breach of peace. If a representative killed, the police will arrest him and take him to court. If the president threatened to plan to overthrow the government and to cause a treasonable act, that person will go to court. The police will arrest him. The same way if the representative cause breach of peace, if the person cause breach of peace, not threatening to cause or not intending to cause, if they cause breach of peace, they will be arrested by the police. Have there been a breach of peace by what they may say? No. So why is it that we are going to take him into the party to My sister, I don't like to repeat myself a lot of time, but thanks for your idea. The president is now a persistent. He's the president of the Republic of Liberia. His Excellency, Dr. George Weah. I don't care whether you like it or not. Have a nice day. Thanks for listening. I don't agree with your total, but I respect your opinion. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll be talking about the printing of new banknotes. And I'll be giving you some of the facts. I'll be looking at the Constitution and stating some of the things as enshrined in the Constitution. Until then, thanks for following and have a nice day. No matter where you are, sleep good and have a good day.